We have received breaking news. President Truman has just signed the Economic Recovery Act, an act to help restore the European economy post-World War II.
But many are begging the question whether America should get involved in foreign affairs definitely after a war America itself is recovering from.
To solve this problem, we have asked people on the street what they think of this approval.
There's a person coming in. We're gonna find out what he thinks about the Marshall Plan. Here we go. Sir. Quick question. How do you feel about the Marshall Plan that has been signed?
I feel like Europe needs our help. I mean, if we don't stop communism, then who will?
We're gonna interview him about the Marshall Plan. Here we go. Let's go. Sir. I need to ask you. So the Marshall Plan was just signed. How do you feel about it?
I think it's about time America starts focusing on our goddamn selves. I ought to walk down to Washington right now and...
Many argue the plan has helped Europe fight the rise of the USSR, with over $12 billion going to Europe.
On today's show, we have two political commentators with opposite views on the Marshall Plan, Dr. Frederick Givens and Professor Gable Turn.
Alright, Mr. Givens, take it away.
Doctor. Anyway, the Marshall Plan was a brilliant idea created by Secretary of State George Marshall. The goal of the Marshall Plan was to allow the United States to assist European nations on both sides of the war in rebuilding damaged industry and infrastructures.
The plan program used up over $13 billion. Don't you think that is a little excessive?
The Marshall Plan was not only meant for rebuilding damaged physical Europe, but for the governmental stability as well. By doing so, American exporters had a much easier time entering European markets.
So how did the Marshall Plan affect the Soviets?
The Marshall Plan provided stability among European nations. In doing so, this helped prevent the Soviets from having an excuse to annex them into their country.
Do you believe this could be seen as a way to imperialize European nations through their economy?
I believe that to be true, but the Marshall Plan was an attempt to strengthen the relationships between America and the European nations.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's all the time we'll have for today, folks. Thanks for coming, Dr. Gable and Mr. Turn.
Thank you for having us.
This is an exclusive presidential interview.
President, nice to be with you.
Good afternoon.
In the 2 years of your presidency, you've made political decisions to block communists from the East. One of your controversial decisions was the signing of the Economic Recovery Act, aka the Marshall Plan. Some have argued Americans need to stay out of Eastern affairs. What do you have to say about this?
Well, let me first explain. It isn't just an Eastern affair when communism poses a global threat. We've had countries become red one by one, from half of Germany to the majority of Asia. Next thing you know, we have the USSR. Europe needs our help, and with a lack of it, communism spreads like butter.
One of the arguments against it is the amount of the U.S. money towards the program, and upwards of $12 billion spent on the program. Should this be concerning?
You have to look at the expense in a long-term view. Yes, the cost is high, but this is to prevent a power that could very much strip America's identity and cause the world to surrender to the Soviets. Another thing I might as well add is I've never been more confident in this nation's economy after returning from a crippling depression and catastrophic war all in the last 20 years. Life expectancy is now up, middle class status is up, and all in all, America is the global power it is always meant to be.
But should America be the global interventionist power it has been?
It is of my belief that we should use our success as a nation to help the less powerful ward off evil.
Thank you for your time, Mr. President.
My pleasure.
Rough roads today on this Saturday morning. Many traveling to their favorite leisure activities. If you're going to head on the roads this morning, keep in mind gas prices are through the roof with mass consumerism of cars. Warning to anyone traveling north. We have a traffic jam, I-90. Thanks to the recent road constructions on Route 20, part of the passing of the Federal Highway Act in 1956. An innovative and constructive way to have new travel. Warning to anybody traveling north, we have traffic on I-90 thanks to the recent construction on Route 20 as part of the passing Federal Aid Highway Act in 1956, and innovative to construct a 41,000-mile network of highways.
Life could be a dream, life could be a dream.
Let's get her done.
Life could be a dream. If I could take you up in paradise up above, then you would tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream.
Similar to the 1920s, the economy of the 50s was booming. Most families now had extra time on their hands, and with the extra time they took up various leisure activities, like bowling
Life could be a dream. If only all my precious plans
and
would
baseball
come true.
that would shape the habits of family life for years to come. Thanks to the innovation of color TV, sports became a popular event that many families would watch together, like baseball, football, basketball, and even horse racing. For the kids, toy companies were on the rise, and the invention of many iconic doodads like Play-Doh, Barbie dolls, frisbees, hula hoops, and even famous Mr. Potato Head.
Let's take a look at the changes our school's made in the past 15 years. In the recent baby boom, we saw a rise in the population of about 50 million babies, as well as many of our elementary schools. Public schools have enacted the duck and cover policy due to the nuclear threat of the USSR. We have seen integration with different races in the same schools, thanks to the Brown versus Board case in 1954. We have seen a change in our school's curriculum to focus more around math and sciences to train our youth to keep up with the Russians. Hey bud, can you show us what you do when there's an atomic bomb? No, what your teacher told you to do.
We'll be back after these short messages from our sponsors. Have you ever had the pain of clothes not being clean and taking forever to wash?
Oh, yes, I have.
Well, you no longer have to with the all-new Eisenhower Turbo Wash with guaranteed super clean and 2-hour wash time. You no longer settle for dirty clothes or that long wait.
Mom, what's taking the clothes forever? This is stinky.
Buy the Eisenhower Turbo Wash and get these results.
Your clothes are gone.
Already? It smells great.
Buy the Eisenhower Turbo Wash for the amazing deal of $449. We guarantee it and you need it.